Very special visitor to our ZNS HD studios today, former NBA star and actor Rick Fox. I got a chance to talk to him about life after the NBA and a whole lot more.
Rick, first tell us, you've been in NBA for a good chunk of your life, but we were just talking that something else has taken up an even bigger chunk of your life. Post playing, what are your plans now? You say you're EPing at some things. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, my brand will always be sports. It's been my life for a lot of years, so no longer can I play the game at a professional level, but I actually still participated in it as an analyst for NBA TV, Turner Broadcast, and you guys probably follow along with Charles and Kenny, and now Shaq, who's actually coming in town today here with his family. But so basketball in itself will always be a part of my life, and I keep a foot in that world. But 8 years out now, I've been retired, and life moves on, and I've been acting in front of the camera in television shows and movies for as long, if not longer, than my basketball career. My brand has been NBA and actor, sports and acting, and now it's just been acting. But you asked me that question, and what I've now transitioned into is an entrepreneurship life of a businessman, being behind the camera. It's why now if I'm going to plant roots in that world as a businessman, I want it to be at home here, where my life has been, most of my life, where my foundation is, because I know this is where, when I move on as I get older here, this is where I'm going to be spending my time. So the opportunity to incorporate sports by giving back what I know to the youth in the community by having a Rick Fox capacity. It doesn't have to be my name, but a program that involves, that I can be involved in, as well as I want that program to have entrepreneurship basis too, so that kids not only learn the game of basketball or whatever sport foundations they get through discipline and hard work and teamwork. I want them to know that someday that basketball will end like it did for me, right. And I want them to know how to conduct themselves as businessmen out there in the world too. So it has to have that two-pronged play.
You talked a little bit about when you were back home here in the Bahamas, delivering ice, working with your dad. A lot of people don't understand that transition that got you from being here in the Bahamas right. to being in the States. How did that come about?
Well, first it started with a home environment that made me the man that I am, prepared me watching my father and how he conducted his life, how he treated others, how he moved as a businessman, how he learned as a businessman and grew as a businessman. My mom, how her background in sports as an Olympic athlete showed me what it meant to work hard and discipline in sport. But then the church, Faith Temple, and my school at Kingsway Academy, all of that was a foundation that gave me, the opportunity that when a team came from Indiana here to do a clinic at the high school, they saw the athletic ability. They saw a young man with potential for someday maybe going to their school at Warsaw, at Winona Lake, Indiana, Grace College. And so they invited me to come to camp. My mom and dad saw it as an opportunity for me to spend 3 weeks in the summer not home, but driving them crazy, but giving me an opportunity to go to camp. So I went to camp, and in that 3-week period, I got to learn a little more about basketball, but meet some coaches and a family that, which unbeknownst to me, I didn't know what they were orchestrating. So they saw a young man that they thought 3 years down the road could go to college at the seminary school, a good Christian college, and learn and get a college education, but play basketball for them. Before I left that camp, they basically said, okay, so you're going to go home and you're going to tell your parents that we have a family for you to live with, and you're going to play high school basketball here, and then maybe go to college at Grace College. This all sounded good to me because I was of the school of Michael Thompson. I grew up watching Michael Thompson, and I knew his journey was he went to high school in Miami, then he went to college in Minnesota, and I know he went to the NBA. And so I always pay respect to not only my family for building that foundation and the community for building that foundation, but for a Michael Thompson coming before me, because I knew what it looked like. I knew that it was possible because he was doing it. So I thought, well, maybe this plan also for me to go to school and high school in the States would be a similar journey to get me started. And so when I came back, I told my mom and dad, I said, Mom, Dad, they told me I could come to high school in Indiana and go to college. And isn't that what you want from me to go to college? All the while I'm thinking, and go to the pros, and be like Michael Thompson. And so my parents were a little bit whoa, hold on, where's all this coming from? We just sent you off for camp. You know, school starts next month. And sure enough, I cried enough, and I kept telling them, you have to let me go. I want to be like Michael Thompson. I want to do this. And I tell you, it took me a long time as a parent now with an 18-year-old son and a 12-year-old daughter to understand how much love and sacrifice and to let their own son go off to another country, and I don't know if I could do that.
More from Rick Fox throughout the week.